Andrea,
Yes.
you are Jane's mom, and this is so much fun. You must love doing this.
I am having such a ball. This is the best role I've ever played. It's a very dynamic character with a lot of heart and then just being funny and dramatic and song and dance. I mean, it's just like all encompassing.
So, what's been your favorite part so far?
That's a good question. My favorite part
Or
would
favorite
probably be.
scene?
I love the stuff like the physical comedy stuff that I have with Jaime, who plays Rogelio. I love the being discovered in bed and that whole like how we had to block it and the part of like when she was asking for the shoes and me throwing him the clothes and all of that. I love physical comedy, so I would say anything with comedy and Rogelio are my favorites.
Okay, I have to bring it up then. You're talking about physical comedy here. Yes. The milkshake.
Oh my God, I know the milkshake. Can you believe I never heard of the milkshake song before? I don't know, like was I living under a rock? Because everybody else knew what it was, and when Jenny Ehrman told me I was going to be doing the milkshake song, I was like, oh, let me just look this up and see and I found this video of the Kellys, and I go, oh my God, that is so crazy and wild. And I was worried because I thought that my character was going to be painted as this like sex-starved Latina, which is very stereotypical, and it was only the second episode, so I didn't really know where they were going to be going with the character. And so when I first read the script and I saw the song, I got, oh God, I'm so worried about it. But then I get to the end of the episode and I realize that she gets redeemed, as the character gets redeemed of Zoe when she's trying to protect her daughter and prevent her from getting hurt, and that's why she did the song and dance. So yes, the milkshake.
Yeah, there is actually a lot of depth to Zoe. The things behind what she's doing is, it seems like everything is about Jane at this point.
Yes, I would say the majority of it is about Jane. And there's sort of a vulnerability and maybe even an insecurity in her that I can relate to on some levels. In terms of, I'm a mother also. I have two kids, aged 10 and 7, and they're in New York right now, and I'm here in LA doing this. And just I question myself as a mom. How good of a mother am I? Am I doing the right thing? Am I doing enough? Am I doing too much? And I feel like Zoe has some of those aspects too, and just the fact that she was a young mom, really growing up with Jane in a sort of way, in a way growing up with her. I love how there's just a vulnerability to her, and that insecurity I feel comes through her questioning of how to parent Jane when she really hasn't quite grown up herself.
Yeah. And another character, Zoe isn't the only mom. Her mom is on the show as well.
That's right, yes.
And is a major part of their lives. How was that interaction for you?
I love my interaction with Yvonne Cole, who plays Alba. I really admire her because she's such a dynamic actress, and she's got an amazing career. I mean, she went from, being, she wanted to be a nun at one point, to being a cabaret singer, the lead of this huge cabaret act, having her own one-woman show in Puerto Rico on television, to being on Broadway, to doing films with major stars. And so I really look up to her and admire her, and she gives a lot of great advice and a lot of really good stories. So, and on top of that, she's Puerto Rican, so she's a really good example for me, in terms of my career and where I look to get to.
And Zoe was a young mom, a teenage mom herself, and now Jane, her daughter, isn't quite as young, but also is a young, soon-to-be mother, whether she keeps the baby or gives it up for adoption. How do you think Jane having a baby, how is that going to affect Zoe as she just develops through the pregnancy?
Well, there's a part of me that will feel like, be worried that, I'm going to be a grandmother now and it's going to age me. But I think the other way that I see Zoe is looking to Jane in admiration. I feel like she looks up to Jane most of the time and admires her and idolizes her, and maybe even puts her on a pedestal, which kind of puts Jane in a tough position because she always has to live up to these ideals. And that's where I think some of the insecurity for Zoe comes into place, where she doesn't feel good enough or worthy enough. And her daughter is at least the shining example of what maybe an ideal young lady should be or could be. So I really admire her, and I think that she's going to be a great mother and probably do better things than I did raising her.
Okay, and final question, as the mom, is she more team Michael or is she team Raphael?
Oh, she's definitely Team Michael, for sure. I mean, first of all, I love you. I love Justin, Raphael. I love them. But Brett, he has such a vulnerability to him. And his acting, it's just like, and just the character, the way the character is written as well. But he just brings such an amazing honesty and vulnerability to that role. I'm just like, how could you not pick him?